We are back with another week of MLB baseball. Let's talk a little steam. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back. That's right. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. Thank you to everyone in the military. Appreciate everything you guys do. But the weekend was like a normal weekend, right around break even. We actually won 0.32 units. I am going to go crazy with that money. My goodness. No, really, it's been like that like last 3-4 weekends, but we had some tough breaks, I'll tell you that. It's baseball stuff, but we'll go over the recap in just a little bit. Quick reminder, NBA Best Bets video for Game 4 with OKC versus Minnesota. That is out now. Be sure to check it out. But any graphics you see in this video are from OUTLIER, the best betting research tool on the market today. Click that link below. You get a 7-day free trial. So let's get into it. The fun fact is actually a little trivia question for you. So here we go. Does anyone know who holds the record for most consecutive stolen bases without getting caught? Vince Coleman, 50 straight stolen bases in 1989-90. I would have guessed Ricky Henderson. I didn't know the answer. But in this video, we're going to recap the weekend. Then we're going to go over the good and bad hitter matchups, and then the pitcher strikeout matchups. And, of course, we'll give you the full pitcher report for all 12 games, and then we'll end it with my best bets and the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, come join this awesome community. Hit that subscribe button as we are getting oh so close to 40,000 subscribers. All right, take a sip of that coffee. The baseball journey begins now, and that means it's recap time. All right, we have a lot going on. As you can tell, my beautiful face is not in the corner, so I will be recording and editing this one tonight. But we start with Sandy. I'm going to go quick here, but Alcantara under 17.5 outs. We continue to cash plus money pitcher props lately. It's been awesome. Plus 135. He's only gone over one time. I'm not sure why the odds are like this, but team total parlay, the only 1 unit play of the day or of the weekend was a winner with the White Sox under. That was a little sweaty, but the Houston went over pretty easily. And then the Brewers on the money line. See bottom right. Those are in the list of losses this weekend as they blew a save in the 9th inning. And then Clark Schmidt over 5.5 Ks, easy winner there. Then we go to Saturday, under 8.5 Padres Braves. I was freaking out right before because Michael King was a late scratch, and they went with a bullpen game, which was the one thing I was worried about, the Padres bullpen. And somehow it was a 7-1 game. Luckily, the Padres offense stunk, and we stayed under barely. But Jack Leiter over 15.5 outs. He literally gives out walks like it's in his contract. Like he does it for his job. It was horrendous. He had like 5 or 6 walks. It was brutal. And he still ended with 15 outs, 1 out away. It was an issue of mine, so I'm not like super surprised, but it was his worst of the year. Angels team total over 4.5, of course, on an absolute heater. I finally jump on the bandwagon, and they do nothing offensively against Cal Quantrill. And then Tigers money line, see bottom right, Detroit up 3-0, blew the lead and lost in extra innings. And then Sunday, we start out with another nice plus money winner, plus 135 for Henderson over. He's cashed us a couple times on Ks now. And then the White Sox money line, see bottom right. White Sox blew a save in the 9th inning. It's the White Sox. I know that's a possibility, but it still hurt when you're 3 outs away. And then the team total parlay. This one was brutal, guys. Phillies over 2.5 or 3.5, and they got the job done. And the Yankees over 5.5 in Coors Field. Had 4 through 4 innings. And then we had a very, very long rain delay. And they score 1 run when they come back out from the rain delay. The entire rest of the game end on 5, and we get hooked. That hurt. I'm not going to lie. That was brutal. But either way, up 0.32 units. So there we are, up 0.38 units on the year. There's all the breakdown, game bets, pitcher props, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we got for the recap. Now let's talk some hitter matchups. All right, we only got 10 good hitter matchups for you on this a little bit smaller slate. Not a lot of big names here. You can see Pete Alonso bottom left, 3 for 8 against Adrian Hauser. And then over there on the right, Taylor Ward's been on absolute fire. He's also 4 for 8 versus Ryan Yarbrough. Josh Naylor, 4 for 8 up above him against Andrew Heaney. And then Nimmo, 4 for 7 with a home run off Hauser. We ended with Gurriel, 3 for 7. Tim Anderson, 3 for 7. So hopefully still help you get some winners, but that's what we got for the good hitters. Now let's take a look at the bad hitter matchups. Just 3 matchups. Grichuk, 3 for 16. Josh Smith, 0 for 10 with a couple Ks off Gaussman. And Rengifo, 1 for 10 with a K off of Yarbrough. So that's what we got for the hitter matchups. Now let's talk some Ks. All right, there it is. The one good pitcher strikeout matchup today, but we're going to talk about a couple other high strikeout pitchers as well after. Garrett Crochet at the Brewers, 11th highest K percentage versus lefties last 3 weeks for Milwaukee at 24.5%. Crochet, 78 Ks in 68.1 innings, coming off his second lowest K game of the season with 5 versus the Mets. Again, hard strikeout team. but he did have 8 and 9 in the 2 prior starts. Slightly higher K rate on the road here, 29.7 compared to at home, 27.8%. And he does have a much higher K rate versus lefties. No surprise there, 37.5% compared to 27.2 versus righties. Now, a couple other high strikeout pitchers just didn't make it because they're not facing high strikeout teams. Doesn't mean you can't tail them or or do any of that. But Jacob deGrom versus Blue Jays. Toronto does have the 5th lowest K rate versus righties last 3 weeks at only 19.1%. And then Yamamoto versus the Guardians. Cleveland, 15th highest K rate versus righties last 3 weeks, 20.8, sitting right there around average, right around that 21% mark. Again, both these guys could crush because they're really good strikeout pitchers, but just wanted to give you guys some more info. So that's what we got for the strikeouts. Now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 6 matchups of the day. Again, just a reminder, we added the home runs per 9 innings column on the right side. All the averages are on the bottom, so you have something to go off of. Hayden Birdsong making another start. I think it's only a second start, maybe third of the year after working out of the bullpen. But 1.91 ERA, due for some negative regression there with that expected ERA, as you can see. But going up against Kyler Montero, I'm not a big fan of. 5.28 ERA. He's been okay this year, but still gets hit around a little bit. And, his K rate, 15.4. We're talking a guy who does not miss many bats. Garrett Crochet versus the rookie Patrick. We know about Crochet, just an absolute stud, misses a ton of bats. And then Patrick's had a solid year, 53 innings. And obviously, as you can see, not giving up many home runs. And his walk rate's in check. His average K rate's been pretty solid. And then Palmquist, only 8 innings, so you can't really go off of the numbers there. Going up against Jameson Taillon of the Cubs. He's been up and down lately, I'm not going to lie. Had some really good starts and then had some really struggling starts. And if you're looking at a guy who gives up home runs, it's Taillon. 2.22 home runs per 9 innings. And then Eric Fedde going up against Charlie Morton. Fedde's had a solid season. Charlie Morton, they're not letting go deep into games anymore. He gets better results that way. Only 2 earned runs in his last 9.1 innings, which is over 3 starts because he was, let's face it, he's just not really a major league pitcher anymore. 7.68 ERA. He's 72 years old, so it makes sense. And then Kevin Gausman, in his last 6 starts, this is just how up and down he's been. He gave up 10 total earned runs on back-to-back starts, and then he got a shutout. And then he gave up 9 earned runs total on back-to-back starts, and they got a shutout in his last start. All over the place, guys. Going up against Jacob deGrom, we know, been as solid as can be. 2 earned runs or less in 7 straight starts. And then one of the more boring pitching matchups with Nick Martinez versus Michael Lorenzen. Both been pretty decent at limiting runs, but nothing special there when it comes to their stuff. But that's what we got for page 1. Let's now look at page 2. Adrian Hauser off of Clay Holmes, versus Clay Holmes. Hauser only 1 start so far. 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs in his first start versus Seattle. And Holmes, we know, a converted reliever, having a good first season as a starter. Above average K rate, not giving up a ton of home runs, getting some good, decent ground balls. And then Yamamoto versus Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams, what's supposed to be an ace, is not. Really struggling with his walk rate, 12.4%. And then Yamamoto got out of his mini slump that he had with a 7-inning, 1-hit ball versus Arizona last start. I had Arizona team total over. That was dumb. And then Chris Paddock versus Zach Littell. Paddock been really consistent and solid this year. I don't know what Minnesota figured out, but they did. He has now given up 3 or less earned runs in 8 straight starts, giving his team a chance to win. Andrew Heaney, 2.91 ERA. How about that? Still not missing a lot of bats, but he does have 2 or less earned runs in 3 straight starts. Only 11 hits also in the last 16 innings. Going up against Ryan Nelson, 31 innings thrown. He's been okay. Nothing special there. Ryan Weathers versus Randy Vasquez. Weathers only made 2 starts, and it was against the Cubs both times. Only gave up 2 total earned runs in 10 innings. And then Randy Vasquez, I got to give him a little credit. I make fun of him a lot, but he's actually given up 2 or less earned runs in 4 straight starts. But I will say this, the 4 straight starts, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Angels, and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have been better lately, but other than that, that's not exactly a tough or a murderer's row, He does have a 12.1% walk rate, which is pretty much even with his K rate. If you're 1-to-1 K and walk rates, it's not pretty. You're about to get blown up or something's about to happen. So Yarbrough versus Cocaine. Yarbrough made 3 starts, just 3 earned runs and 10 hits allowed in those 14 innings. And then Cocaine. He's got some massive Jack Leiter-like command issues right now. 13 walks in his last 16.1 innings. That is just not good. His ERA now right around 5. So there's all the averages on the bottom, and that's what I got for the whole pitcher report and all the research help. And now it's time for the best bets. All right, this first one takes us out to Cleveland, where the Guardians host the LA Dodgers. Dodgers on the money line, -186. Guardians on the money line, +156, with a total of 8 runs. I got a 1-unit play, and it's on a total. Don't usually do a unit there, but we're going to take some shots here this week. So give me the under 8 at -115 for a unit. We've won 2 in a row fading the team coming off Sunday Night Baseball and having to travel. We're not exactly fading them, although I do lean Guardians money line at the huge number here, but we're just going to fade their bats. So let's talk the starting pitcher matchup, Yamamoto versus Gavin Williams. First of all, Yamamoto, we know how good he is. He's an absolute beast, one of the best starting pitchers in the league. Shouldn't need to say much here. Coming off a one-hit shutout against the Diamondbacks. Exact same 1.86 ERA on the road or at home. A ridiculous 128 average against and 234 xFIP versus lefties. This man's solid. But Gavin Williams, like we mentioned, the pitcher report hasn't been the pitcher we expected him to, except for this month. It's starting to come back now. He struggled to start the year, but in the month of May, 2.25 ERA with a 2.30 average against, a nice 3.13 xFIP with a massive 33.7% K rate. This guy is starting to miss some bats again. In the 4 May starts, he's pitched 20 innings, 17 hits allowed, 5 total earned runs, and 29 strikeouts. And 2 of those were against Toronto and Philly, 2 very low strikeout teams. And then at home, he's just been better. Much lower xFIP, 2.94 compared to 4.31 on the road. 2 good starting pitchers here. And then we go to the offenses. We talk about how dead offenses have been coming off Sunday Night Baseball, having to travel. Last 2 teams we faded have a total of like 4 or 5 runs in the last 2 weeks. Against the Dodgers, a little different, but it's not really as much different as you think because they have been struggling on the road on offense. They're known as a #1 offense in the league and all that, but when they get on the road, last 30 days versus righties on the road, 22nd WRC plus, 5th highest K rate, 10th lowest slugging. They are the #1 offense at home in baseball, but not on the road. And now we have a bad travel spot on the road versus a starting pitcher that's really heating up, throws well. I lean Dodgers team total under as well, but then Guardians offense. This is also a team worse at home, which is where they are 6th lowest WRC plus versus righties in the last month at home, 10th highest K rate, 6th lowest slugging. No team in the MLB has scored fewer runs at home than the Cleveland Guardians. And then we go to the bullpen. Guardians top 10 bullpen again this season. They're rested. Only used Jacob Junis and Enright yesterday. And then Dodgers fully rested. Only uses Dreyer and Trevino on Sunday. Not a big deal there. Guardians 13-8-1 to the under at home this season. I'm going to start taking some shots here. This is the first one for a unit on the total play. Give me the under 8 as my first best bet. All right, this second one takes us out to San Diego, where the Fathers host the Miami Marlins. Padres on the money line, -150. Marlins on the money line, +125. Total of 7.5 runs. Give me the underdog play of the day. Marlins on the money line, +125 on ESPN Bet. Half unit play for me here. We've been on a roll with these underdog money line plays this season. We just lost the White Sox on a blown save in the 9th, but still love the read there. But let's talk the spot. Padres coming in after traveling across the country from Atlanta. After a long road trip, that first game back at home is not usually good for the home team. Marlins coming in to San Diego after playing in LA, playing the Angels. Not a big deal there. Same time zone, obviously. Last 10 games, Marlins 6-4. Padres 3-7. Offenses in the month of May, pretty much the last 3 weeks and a little bit more. Marlins 16th WRC plus, 11th best slugging and batting average. Padres 21st WRC plus, 23rd slugging, 20th batting average. This team has struggled mightily on offense. We've talked about it. And then the starting pitchers, Ryan Weathers versus Randy Vasquez. Weathers had to face the Cubs twice in a row to start his season, and he pitched really good. 1 earned run in each of those starts. I watched him pitch. His fastball had good velocity on it. He had good command. I had watched it because I had the Cubs team total over, and that crashed and burned. But I came out impressed watching him. And then we have Randy Vasquez. I mean, my goodness. Outperforming his metrics like we've talked about. He's been better this season, but not that good, guys. A 1-to-1 K to walk ratio, like we mentioned, is absolutely horrendous. Almost a 1.5 whip. His xFIP at home is almost 6, 5.84. This guy, it's about to burst for him, that's for sure. He's just as bad with a 5.63 xFIP on the road, by the way. But bullpens, Padres, one of the worst bullpens in the month of May. 3rd highest ERA, 3rd highest xFIP. Marlins 22nd in ERA, but a top 3 xFIP, which means they've been getting really lucky. They're actually pitching pretty well here. So overall, it's weird to say, but the Marlins at this point right now are playing better. They are the better team as of right now. By the end of the year, will they be? No. But right now, they're playing good baseball. They have the better starting pitcher on the mound. Offense has been much better than San Diego. The bullpen is pitching better. A bad travel spot for San Diego. Better spot here for the Fish. Give me the underdog with those fishies as my second best bet. I do not have a third best bet tonight. It's already 11:30. Still got to edit this video with Ryan gone. But I do want to give you some more info. So let's talk a couple hitters. All right, I got 2 hitters I want to talk about that have hitting the ball pretty well. So I might put this in a hitter parlay, might not, but just wanted to kind of give you some more info. First one, Ryan O'Hearn. Been on a roll lately. 3rd highest batting average in the last 7 days at a 462 average, hitting 354 in May. 323 off righties. He has 3 or more hits in 3 of his last 5 games. Much higher hard hit rate versus righties as well, 37.4%, only 21.7% versus lefties. Facing Eric Fedde, has an ugly 4.92 xFIP versus lefties. Not a guy who misses many bats. An insanely low 14.4% K rate. I like O'Hearn to stay hot here. Second one, speaking of hot, how about the highest batting average in the majors? Seiya Suzuki. That's right, 1+ hit in 9 of his last 10 as well. Highest batting average in the last 7 days in the majors. I don't know if I said that. Crushes lefties, hitting 341 off them this season. 391 at home versus lefties. Palmquist is the pitcher. That should be enough. He's putting on a Rockies jersey, so we know how good he is. Behind him is an awful bullpen. I like Suzuki to stay hot, even with the wind blowing in there in Wrigley Field. So that's what I got for all the research help. The 2 best bets. Again, there will be more added plays in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord, as well as a couple hitters that I like, and there's a lot more out there. But thank you guys for watching. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My 2 best bets so far. Give me the under 8 runs in the Dodgers-Guardians game for 1 unit, and then the Marlins on the money line plus 125 for a half unit. Again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support. Go check out that NBA video if you have any time at all. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, you guys have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.